Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Serious here, and welcome back to another TV show review. And today, I'm going to be reviewing The Mandalorian Season 3, one of my most anticipated shows of 2023. So, The Mandalorian Season 3 is the third season in the fan favorite Star Wars show, The Mandalorian, and is once again show run by Dave Filoni and has a bunch of directors, including John Favreau. Well, I actually don't remember John Favreau directing an episode, but I'm sure Dallas Howard has directed one episode. And a bunch of directors I've never heard of, and I don't remember who they are, but yeah, whatever. And once again, stars pretty much the same cast, including Pedro Pascal himself, and also Carl Weathers, Giancarlo Esposito, Katie Shackloff. Sadly, no Gina Carano because she got fired, which sucks. Yeah, so basically the Mandalorian season three. The plot for Mandalorian season three. It's actually a pretty complicated story. There's a lot of things going on, but I'll explain the main plot of this. It's about Din Djarin, aka Mandalorian, who travels to Mandalore to redeem his past transgressions with his adopted son Grogu. Past transgressions basically in the end of season two, where when Mandalorian removed his mask to reveal his face, even though it's illegal. And also he reunites with Grogu. If you saw Book of Boba Fett, and they go on a journey, and he goes on a journey with Bo Katan to to retrieve this dark saber and to fight the pirates, and later on the return of the return of a familiar enemy, pretty much the same antagonist as the first two seasons of Moff Gideon, and Bo-Katan is leading this new army of army hunters. Mandalorian included the army to fight off against the enemies, the powerful enemies. So yeah, it's been a while since we last saw the Mandalorian. In fact, I actually didn't really have time to rewatch it leading up to this one, sadly. But yeah, if you want to know my thoughts on the first two Mandalorian seasons, I love them. Yeah, I think they're both excellent and some of the best content we got in Disney Star Wars. Now, I don't think it's the best Star Wars show like what everyone else says. You all know that Obi-Wan Kenobi is my personal favorite Star Wars show. I still stand by that. Although I still need to rewatch it because I've only seen it once, and I probably need to rewatch it. Although I've seen a few scenes like I've seen a couple of scenes that I rewatched them like on YouTube and something. But yeah, I stand by having Obi-Wan Kenobi as my favorite Star Wars show. I would say The Mandalorian is my third favorite Star Wars show. Star Wars show. Behind the Mandalore, Obi-Wan Kenobi as my favorite, and Andor as my second favorite. Yeah. And I would say that yeah, season one is amazing. Yeah, sure. I've already forgotten a lot that happened. I only remember a few scenes, a few parts that happened, but it is such an excellent season and such a surprise because I don't know what people expected. Although I had high expectations for it, I did this season did leave a smile on my face. So and I really enjoyed the journey with the Mandalorian and Grogu, who was referred to as Baby Yoda at the time before they revealed his true name in season two. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I need to rewatch season one. But season two is the best Mandalorian season. It tops the first season and like most things. Yeah, season two is more action packed. It's more enjoyable. It's season one does have some slow pacing, but season two is just fastly throughout. Maybe a few slow pace scenes, but that's kind of what I expected at that point. But yeah, season two gave me all the feels. I mean, it had Ashoka, even though live action Ashoka is not as good as animated Ashoka, in my opinion. And it even had Luke Skywalker. Yeah, the season two finale is the best episode in all of Star Wars. Star Wars, the best episode in any Star Wars show, and I stand by that. So yeah, we've been waiting for ages for the Mandalorian season three. It took 3 years to get into that. I guess maybe COVID shut down productions, or they had a lot. I mean, to be fair, at least it's not as long of a wait as waiting for season four, Stranger Things season four after season three, and now now season five is probably gonna take like 3 years to make. Like just like the gap between Mandalorian season two and season three, and in between the Mandalorian season two and season three, we got that crappy Book of Boba Fett show. Yeah, I hate Book of Boba Fett. I really wanted to like the show, but it was just so boring and unfocused. I mean, literally, the Mandalorian scenes. I don't know how I feel about that because it was cool seeing him back again. But it's not about the Mandalorian. It's about Boba Fett. So yeah. One day I might do a rant on Book of Boba Fett. And I can't believe that Robert Rodriguez is involved in the production. Really, Robert Rodriguez, was that how you follow up the underrated, forgotten masterpiece that was Ali the Battle Angel? But here we are with the Mandalorian season three, and unfortunately though, yeah, this season, well, unlike the first two seasons, which was loved by many, this season got so much hate. Yeah, people actually despise the season. Yeah, yeah, people were actually pissed off about how this season turned out, and I'm really disappointed with what I've been hearing because after seeing season three for myself, I gotta say I absolutely adore this season. Yep, this season absolutely lived up to the hype. It was absolutely worth the 3 year wait for this. Yeah, and yeah, it's really sad to see the show hated. Like people hated this, despised this. And literally the show even flopped even harder than Andor when it comes to viewership. But yeah, I certainly do not understand the hate that this show gets. I really enjoyed it. It was such a blast. It still felt like the Mandalorian I knew to this day. Now, I does it have is it perfect? Well, to be honest, guys, I actually do have one negative for the show, for this season, and that is the absence of Cara Dune. Yeah. Now, I don't usually complain about character absence in shows or movies. Yeah, unlike this one user who hated on Thor Ragnarok because Jane and Darcy weren't in it. No offense to this guy, he's still a great guy. I hope he. And I'm just saying, I'm not trying to call BS on him or something. So yeah, don't. No offense to that person, but yeah, I think I have to address that the fact that Gina Carano as a Cara Dune isn't in this. It's I mean, yeah, sure, I know Gina Carano got fired for posting something that really pissed off people, that really triggered them. But come on, man, Gina Carano doesn't deserve to be fired. I mean, she should have stayed. And but how come Amber Heard gets to be Captain Aquaman too, but Gina Carano gets straight up fired? And you know what's worse? Than this? Literally, not only did they fire Gina Carano, they literally removed Cara Dune from this Cara Dune from the show. Yeah, so from this show, I think I said it on Instagram. What they should have done instead of removing Cara Dune entirely is to actually recast her, to find someone else to play her, and then have Cara Dune on the show. I think like I said on Instagram, like and if you remember, yeah, I said that Michelle Rodriguez should play Cara Dune because literally Michelle Rodriguez has got the buffness that and the muscles that Gina Carano had. In order to play Cara Dune, you need to have a buff body with big man like muscles in it, and I think that Michelle Rodriguez has got what it takes to play as you saw in Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. She really has that buffness and that big muscle to her. But does Cara Dune's absence affect my enjoyment of the show? No, not at all. I mean, even without even without Cara Dune, I mean, I still really dug the show, but I still felt missed. I still miss Cara Dune, so that's why I addressed that. But this show is a lot of fun. I mean, I really enjoyed this one. It feels so different from Mandalorian, which is probably why people hate the show. But I really dig it. I dig what they were trying to do. I mean, they were trying to experiment on a lot of things, and yeah, I really enjoyed what they were doing. It's a little hard to talk about the show, honestly, but I think it's mainly because of the fault of having one episode per week. Honestly, I hate that. I hate it when streaming services have one episode per week. This is why it's so easy to review shows like Stranger Things and Cobra Kai or Wednesday, because each episode are released at the same time, so it's easy to binge them and analyze them and not wait for it. Unlike shows like this or Rings of Power or Andor, the reason why it was tough to talk about these shows is because of the long wait. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not sure if I have a lot to say about it, but I definitely have some stuff to say in mind. Yeah. First, let's talk about the greatest Mandalorian character ever, Grogu. And Grogu, I gotta say, this was Grogu at his best yet. Um, you know, um, in the end of the season two finale, we saw Grogu coming with Luke Skywalker and to train to. To train to at least use the force. Now, yeah, he's definitely not a Jedi, but he is worth using the force since he has the power of the force. And in this one, it has certainly paid off. Yeah, Luke Skywalker's teachings to Grogu definitely feels paid off, because Grogu was such a badass in this season, and yeah, this was him at his best. He really stood out, and it really shows why Grogu is not only the best Mandalorian character, but one of the greatest Star Wars characters. Period. I think he might be like top five Star Wars characters. I still think Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favorite Star Wars character, but Grogu is close, man. But yeah, but I mean, that's in the episode two where Grogu literally uses the Force on this creature. Wow, and also I adore that one flashback scene with Grogu with Grogu how he became a lost child from the which actually literally took place in episode three during the Order 66 execution. I mean, I'm glad that they actually visited my favorite Star Wars movie period. Yeah. And yeah, this is probably the biggest in scale that the show has ever been on. I mean, literally the show is more. This season is more action packed, more action heavy, and I love how that there's a lot more bounty hunters literally teaming up together to fight against marauders, pirates, and of course the Empire, Moff Gideon's Empire in the end. And yeah, this is also the most visually gorgeous Star Wars show. I mean, this is the most visually gorgeous show in I mean, no, sorry, my bad. This is the most visually stunning season of Mandalorian. Okay, there you go. Now I got it. Yeah. A lot of planets that they visited is they look really gorgeous. Yeah, like for example, Coruscant, my favorite Star Wars planet. Period. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely adore Coruscant. Like that, gorgeous city, and not only did they do justice to Coruscant, but it looks even more gorgeous than it's ever been. Yeah, I absolutely love what they did with Coruscant. It's just beautiful to look at. And there's also that episode in episode. There's also that line episode 6 where Mandalorian and Grogu go to with the Jack Black and Lizzo cameo. You can't talk about Mandalorian season 3 without mentioning them in it. Yeah, I know that cameo has divided fans. Like literally got Jack Black and Lizzo together as a couple, and honestly, to me personally, I don't mind I don't mind them in it. I mean, it was actually hilarious, and I was glad to see Jack Black in a Star Wars movie. I certainly did not expect that cameo. I was expecting it to be kind of like Andy Serkis in Andor, where he was there as a cameo, but I didn't think that he would play a major role. Play a major role in play a major role. But yeah, Jack Black is pretty much just a cameo, and he was only there to help. And he was certainly a major part of episode 6. Yeah, a lot of people like really despise that cameo and called season 3 episode 6 the worst Mandalorian season ever. Well, I really like this side of the Mandalorian where it, um I really like that plot. Oh yeah, by the way, I remember now the planet with Jack Black and Lizzo is called Plaisir 15. I really yeah, really love that planet, and I love how episode 6 took a turn. It went from a space western to a spy to a spy genre. Maybe it could have been handled a bit better, but that episode was still like really good. And yeah, now I want to share my thoughts on each episode. Share thoughts on each episode. I'm gonna share my quick thoughts on it. I'm gonna give my ranking of all the Mandalorian season 3 episodes in my community post. So look out for that. So yeah, I'm gonna save this one character I'm gonna talk about for last. But this is my second to the last thing I want to talk about. Or at least yeah, second to the last the episode. So yeah, how are they? Honestly, the first episode was not that great. Now episode 1, it didn't really start out the best. I mean, there were some. It didn't really start out it didn't really start out with the highest note. But yeah, I still really enjoyed episode 1. Either way, it is one of the weaker episodes of the whole show, admittedly. But there's no bad Mandalorian season episode. Don't get me wrong. Not even the first 2 seasons. Episode 2 was where Mandalorian season 3 clearly started to shine, and that was where Mandalorian was truly back, because I really had a blast with episode season 3 episode 2. Yeah, with some like such awesome action in it. Yeah, the action is probably the one of the biggest highlights of Mandalorian season 3. Has the best action in the show. I do think that episode 3 had a little too much focus on the scientist that wasn't like the most important to Mandalorian as of the season, but it's really great. I really enjoyed it, and that was probably the most visually gorgeous episode of the entire Mandalorian show. Episode 4 was absolute peak. Yes, there were actually peak episodes to the show. Like episode 4, like I already talked about this episode where they went back to where they went back to the Order 66 execution scene in Revenge of the Sith, where they show you how Grogu became a lost child. And I gotta say, that was one of the best, probably one of, if not the best scene in the entire show. Episode 5, I didn't have much to say about it, but I really enjoyed that episode because of all the actions and seeing these bounty hunters fighting the pirates in Navarro. And yeah, literally there's a planet, like the main planet that Mandalorian goes to is sorry, is actually called Navarro. I actually thought it's Navarro as in like my girlfriend Marilyn Navarro. So hot, she's so hot. But my girlfriend love her so much. But actually later on I found out it was actually Navarro, and so no, it's not named after my girlfriend's last name. So yeah, but yeah, I really enjoyed it overall. Episode 6 was the most episode 6 was probably one of the more overhated episodes. As people call that the worst episode of the show, period. But to me personally, I liked episode 6. Really dug what they did for this episode. Like I already shared my thoughts on it. Episode 7 was one of the best, and I mean literally episode 7 got positive reviews, and I was so overjoyed and so happy when I heard that episode 7 I actually got good reviews from the season 3 haters thing was actually good, and yeah, I'm happy about that. And I was hoping that it would be like that this for the finale, that it will still be positive. Unfortunately, yes, the finale is hated. Yeah, like people even put it like right on par with episode six as the worst episode of the season and the show in general. Yeah, I think the finale got unfair hate. It's actually my favorite episode of the show. I love that episode is just action packed, action heavy, and it's really like it really got me on the edge of my seat, and it was not an anticlimactic finale at all. I mean, I think it really ended the season. The show really ended on a high note, and it does what the finale should do. Really leave an impact. And to me, I think I'm gonna remember this finale. It's sure it's no Mandalorian season two finale, but I still really enjoyed this finale. This one big 20-minute action scene with 10 to 15 minutes of dialogue at the end, but yeah, really dug in. And by the way, there's a scene where I literally geeked out in the finale. Yeah, almost like Luke Skywalker, almost on the same level as when everyone geeked out when Luke Skywalker showed up in the season two finale. Yeah, literally those Petronian guards from The Last Jedi showed up. Yeah, I love those Petronian guards. They rule. They absolutely rock it, and I love them being them like doing the same thing that they did with Last Jedi. Yeah, I never thought that they would bring back the Petronian guards in this and any Star Wars things, but they did it actually, and I'm really happy that they did. But yeah, but now we get to talk about what the true main character of this and right on par with Grogu as the standard of this season, but Bo-Katan. Yeah, that's actually the reason why people hate this hate this season because Bo-Katan was pretty much front and center. She was the one who held the dark saber and was the leader of the bounty hunters. And I gotta say, yeah, I loved Bo-Katan in this. Yeah, and people, can you just stop being mean to women? Like, how come when male characters outshine female characters in a female film, you think of it as a good thing, but when it comes to female characters outshining male characters in a male-led movie or show, people just don't get mad at it for it. Like, why can't you show women some respect? Like, it's just not fair nowadays. It's just really unfair that people think that women in media is not allowed to be strong. Women in media are not allowed to be independent. Women in media need to be useless and weak and sidelined. Yeah, that is like I'm tired of the anti-SJW women hating nonsense. It's time to stop. But yeah, I really love that Bo-Katan gets to be front and center. Maybe if Cara Dune was here, I wonder if she would have actually took the role of Bo-Katan and what would have been the standout. So yeah, so overall, The Mandalorian season 3 is an underrated gem. Is this the best Mandalorian season? Sadly, no. That goes to season 2. But now, actually, I think I don't know if this is the weakest season of the show or not. I'll have to like look back at season 1 first because I have not seen season 1 in years. Ever since its release. So I gotta look back at season 1 first to decide to you all if this is better season 1 or is this the weakest season. But for sure, it's no season 2 for sure. So yeah, once I'm done rewatching season 1, I'm gonna be doing my ranking of all the Mandalorian seasons as a short. I'm doing it as a short because there's only like 3 seasons. Unless if I can like try to make it into a legit video, then why not? So yeah, with that said, yeah, sure. Mandalorian season 3, I do have a couple of nitpicks, including Cara Dune's absence. But yeah, I really enjoyed the season overall. This is my second favorite show of 2023 so far. Second only behind, well, obviously The Last of Us. I mean, it doesn't even come close to The Last of Us. So yeah. With that said, I'm gonna give Mandalorian season 3 10 out of 10. So for my review of Mandalorian season 3, what is your opinion on Mandalorian season 3? Do you agree with me that this season is underrated, or do you agree with the haters that this season sucked? So comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my rant on the Grinch. Bye guys.